Welcome to REIA Rico, guys. We do this once a month. I'm excited. We have a really good speaker this month, Mr. Roberto Segui. Really excited to hear him talk. And we also have Mr. Michael Gay from InvestPR, who's going to talk about everything that's going on right now, market-wise in Puerto Rico. Really exciting stuff. So really briefly, I'm Zachary. If you haven't met me already, come up, talk to me. I really want to meet you guys, seriously. I think this is all about collaboration and seeing what we can do together. I think we're stronger, basically, together. And there is a lack of transparency in real estate sometimes in Puerto Rico. So we're trying to bridge that gap and have more connections with locals and Act 60 and all of us. We're in this together. We're all generally on the island most of the time, I think. At least I am. So, REIA Rico, we just started this about a little over a year ago, and the whole goal is to bring value to investors, bring value to the community here. So just trying to connect lenders, connect agents, do all that stuff. So we have a deal makers meeting Saturday, 7:30 in the morning. If you're motivated, if you actually want to do deals here on the island, come 7:30 in the morning with Carolina. We're actively doing this, partners here in the audience that we're actively doing projects. So it's a good way to learn, good way to kind of collaborate with people. You got to have that abundance mindset. You know, you got to be willing to kind of partner with people sometimes. Some people want to take all the deal. You know, we have that go get them kind of attitude, and sometimes we've got to partner with people. So be open to that. We are a nonprofit as well, so we are affiliated with Global Focus. If you guys want to donate for your Act 60, it's a good place to donate because we are actively trying to do more community organizing projects. I know Mr. DJ Lampett and Veronica. Veronica, yes, she's in the back. We do want to thank Base for providing the space for us. They have co-working spaces available too, so if you guys want to check that out, come. We'll do like a little tour after the meeting. So we also started doing something really cool. I don't know if you guys know Cash Flow. It's this game that Robert Kiyosaki created back in the 90s, but it's a really good tool to learn kind of the psychology behind, you know, if you can handle kind of doing these deals, if you get greedy, you know, with these deals and stuff. It's really interesting. Sometimes the numbers are off, you know, getting $90 for a duplex or something like that, but you know, you get the idea. It's really cool. So we're planning to do those monthly. We just started doing the first cash flow game a couple days ago. We had a lot of fun doing it. We want to keep doing that. So if you guys are interested in doing that, let me know. We're also looking for sponsors. We need to not go in the red, ideally, every month. And we're just doing this kind of out of the, you know, kindness of our hearts right now, but we'd like to get this going, you know, more productively and get some sponsors involved. If you guys get value out of this, hit me up. So I think that's pretty much it. So we do this meeting once a month, and the deal makers meetings every week. So let's start. Catherine Morea, a longtime investor and co-founder of REIA Rico. Go ahead.
Thank you, son. Awesome, thank you guys. Wow, this is really cool. So I just want to get a little idea of who's here. So how many people, it's their very first time here tonight? Okay, great. Well, thank you guys, welcome. Thanks for coming. So like Zachary said, we started about a year ago, and I just found that there was a need on the island to do what I did back home, which was go around to real estate clubs and meet, you know, contractors and meet agents and meet wholesalers who had deals. And so this has been really great because it seems like there's a need here, because every time we do one of these meetings, people show up, and we have our breakfast club and people show up. And we just did this cash flow game last week, and it was so much fun. We were just, there's a picture of our cash flow game last week. Some of you were here. Were there that are here. And I think it's really important that our mission is sort of to educate and help people get out of the rat race right? Because there seems to be, in Puerto Rico, definitely a mentality of like, get a high-paying job. Like, go to college. It's very well-educated bunch of people here. Go get a job. But you know, if you get real estate, it can actually get you out of being stuck in a job and get you financially independent. And I just hope that as our group grows and more people hear about what we're doing, the more people will decide that maybe doing some real estate on the side is a way to get out of the rat race. And playing cash flow just crystallized that so much for me. So thank you guys who are here for the first time. Now, I also want to find out, like, how many people here are actually invested in real estate in Puerto Rico? Okay, a lot of you. All right, serious crowd here. Okay, so we did a bus tour last summer, and then we did one in January, and we'll be doing another one in July. So let me ask, who here, was anyone here on the bus tour in July? Okay, and January? Who was on the bus tour in January? Okay, so did you have a good time, Corey?
Awesome.
Okay. Well, we're going to do another one. So
We're going to go, we're going to east side, you go west side.
we're going back to the west side.
Okay.
So we'll probably kind of do that where we go east side, you know, every 6 months and west side every 6 months, and then try to highlight different properties. So the purpose of the bus tour is really to just see with your own eyes what different people are investing in. And this isn't like big corporate giant syndications. This is like, you know, some guy and some other guy got together and bought a duplex and now it's on Airbnb. And, you know, I've just found that people are really, the people I'm associating with anyway, are really willing to share their numbers, share, you know, how much work had to get done, the permitting process, the tourism act, and how that worked for them. And it's a great chance if you're thinking about investing to go and spend a day sort of seeing parts of the island and seeing what other people have done already. And then, you know, then you can decide for yourself if you want to invest in those kinds of projects, or at least it gives you a chance to ask questions of people. And, you know, and yeah, we have some beer and wine on the bus, and, you know, we stop for lunch somewhere. You do get to see a bit of the island, so it's a nice chance to sort of rub elbows with other people. So July 20, I have it up there, 26th is a Tuesday. It's the week of the meeting. So it will be a full day bus tour, and then, you know, a day rest where you don't have to talk about real estate, and then our meeting. So if you're interested in that, I just put it on Eventbrite. The actual itinerary is still pretty fluid, but we're pretty sure it's going to be on that Tuesday, and we're going to go see like Arecibo, Rincon, Cabo Rojo. We might be doing something in Agua Dia, so we kind of have to get, you know, the projects that we want to look at, but it'll be sort of that general vicinity. So looking forward to that. Now, I also wanted to mention what Zachary talked a bit about sponsorship. So we do want people who are willing to pay in order to advertise with us, basically, to get in front of our group and say you have, you know, you're a lender or you're a title company or you're a closing attorney, because it costs a lot of money to run this meeting. So, you know, we've got a rent, we've got our videographer, we've got, you know, we have these videos. You know, Don does an amazing job of making our videos, and it's very professional. And if you're an annual supporter, you can actually access all of the videos from every meeting we've ever had, including our lunch and learns and some of our other meetings. So if you have to miss one, or you're just in the mood to sort of go back and see, oh, what did Giovanni Mendez say back last April? You know, it's a chance to review that stuff. So that's one of the advantages of being an annual supporter. And I also just want to mention that I feel really lucky to be here in this market, in this time. We get to live where other people vacation, and we get to swim in water that's warm and beautiful, and go snorkeling and do great things on the weekends and on our time off, because we're in a place that's just really blessed, geographically gorgeous, and we're in a time in the market cycle where Real estate has started to come back up in Puerto Rico, but there's still so much that's extremely affordable. And for people who live here and saw Puerto Rico real estate all their life, they might not realize what an amazing moment we are in history, because the market cycle, the way market cycles work, like Puerto Rico had this horrible depression for so many years. And now the market's moving back up, and we all have a chance to be part of that. I'm from California, so I did fix and flip in California. 2010, 2011, 12, those were great years. But California is very expensive. You do not find, an $80,000 triplex in Santurce. You don't find that in California, right? There is nothing under $500,000 in Southern California. Nothing, not even in the worst places. So we have a chance to do things where if you're a fix and flipper, or you're interested in that, or you want to become a landlord, the barrier to entry in this market financially is actually very low. We have other barriers to entry, which is financing, getting the capital. There are other things that make it more difficult, but also keep away the people who, aren't willing to put up with those things, right? Banking and there aren't hard money lenders here like there are in Southern California. In a room like this, there would be 5 or 10 hard money lenders, and yet we have, a couple here. It's more private money than hard money. So there are things that make it more difficult, but we're in a great time, in a great market. And I just wanted to share my enthusiasm with you guys and just say, you're so smart to be here right now. You're so blessed to be in this place and to be in this real estate market. And I just feel very lucky, and I think you guys are too for me. So let me just share that. Now, we have a couple great speakers tonight, and I'm very fortunate I was able to get Michael Gay on very short notice to come over here. And let me just tell you a little bit about Michael. He was on our bus tour with us, and we had a pretty grueling bus tour. So the bus tour that I did, which was probably just too much, and I'm not going to do it like that, because it was 17 hours, and it ended with a swim in the Bio Bay down in La Peguera, which was really fun. But I'm going to cut that out on the next one, because having a 17-hour day is just really exhausting. So we'll keep it down to like a 12-hour day. It's still a pretty long journey to go to the other side of the island and back. But Michael's a trooper, because he went through that 17-hour bus tour. So let me tell you about InvestPR. Their mission is to promote Puerto Rico as a competitive investment jurisdiction and to attract new businesses and capital to the island. Their vision is to be transformational and a results-oriented accelerator of economic development in Puerto Rico. So Michael himself is a seasoned economic professional with regional, domestic, and international experience, and he specializes in business attraction, expansion, and retention, as well as innovation and entrepreneurship. And Michael is the Chief Business Development Officer for InvestPR. So please welcome Michael Gay.
I should bring you along with me on the show, on the road. You make me a lot more. I got a couple slides I'm going to show you here. Awesome. But no, thank you for the. You sound like my mother, just way overboard, very overblown. Chief of Business Development for Invest Puerto Rico. What does that mean? We were set up by the legislature in 17. So they took the foreign direct investment, the business attraction responsibilities away from the government, and they created us a nonprofit, Invest Puerto Rico.
Wait, you can't see it when we're in water?
I don't see the.
Maybe you should move this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. No, thanks for letting me know.
Thank you.
All right. We're in charge of bringing about $325 million in capex every year and about 5,000 jobs to the island. So no small task. We love our job. I've done this all over the Midwest, and this is the most unique asset I've ever had to market. I did have a video, but all right. So what I'm going to give you is some data on. Oh, I hate this. There we go. I'm going to give you some data just on the economy. So for one, if you didn't know, we were about 3.2 million. We were at about 3.8 million a decade ago. Lost a lot of population due to the hurricanes. Let me tell you something though. This last year is the first year that we changed the direction. So So we stopped losing population. We're actually holding stable now. That is a great, very good sign. Probably one of the, 3.2 million people, not a lot. The same token is more than 20 other states. Okay? So our economy is huge. It's about $100 billion. 103 GDP to be exact. And we export to 85 countries around the world. This is America's medicine cabinet. If you didn't know that, we export more drugs than any state. We're number one. Number two and number three combined don't come close to what number one Puerto Rico does. Okay? That's our legacy. 12 of the world's top 20 pharmaceuticals, 7 of the top 10 medical device companies, all are here. Some of them have multiple plants. So, unemployment rate, 6.5%. That's a big deal. This is a graph. The dark blue is the employment. The light blue is the unemployment. And the orange line is the unemployment rate over that time. Look at where we're at right now. We haven't been there since before 1980. Okay? That means a lot of people have jobs, a lot more today than they did in the past. This is a big deal. Job growth since REIA, 17%. The highest number of employed people, 1.2 million. This is 90,000 more than last year. Unemployment rate dropped. It was 6.8 last month. It's 6.5 this month. A lot of people got off the federal assistance. Amen. Amen. And now they're employed. These are our biggest sectors: hospitality, construction, health, and manufacturing. This is our GDP. Okay? And you can see that 77% of it is pharmaceuticals. Medical devices is the other second line. This is something I want you to see and understand. Here is $80 billion of federal assistance coming to the island. That is a ton of money. Our GDP is $100 billion. And that is all coming. Here's the number, $78.6 billion. 65, almost 66 billion is encumbered for projects. 23 billion has been spent or dispersed. This is what we're trying to do, is to reduce this. This is why Core 3 exists. Manuel Lavoy, former Secretary of DDEC, now Executive Director of Core 3. His job is to get this money not just obligated, but spent, infrastructure built. And so this is a real big deal because this is roads, airports, bridges, churches, hospitals, clinics, schools, university assets, you name it. And that is a ton of money. This is what I meant regarding Core 3. We all know about $10, $11 billion that LUMA's going to get. That's the new entity that's in charge of transmission and distribution of electricity on the island. They're going to spend $1 billion a year for the next decade. Okay? You can kind of see how it's all dispersed. Okay? These are huge, huge drivers of the economy and construction industries. On top of that, the island of Puerto Rico is spending a ton of money on telecom, $400 million for broadband in the next 5 years. 5G, we have a 5G institute on the island, fastest core in the United States. We are part of the national network of 5G institutes. It's us, Purdue, Texas A&M, and Hawaii. We have Texas A&M's core through a cable under the water here. Companies come here and test out that kind of stuff. This is huge because we have companies that come here just to use the core, just to test out their 5G technology in milliseconds rather than seconds. And then Britco's getting $100 million to fix a bunch of buildings that were impacted during the hurricane. And energy is getting better. I mentioned the investment in infrastructure. So I'm just going to show these real quick. This is our economy. Come on. I know you want to go. There you go. So we want, but. Okay. So this is the, come on. So this is the account. All right, bioscience, which is pharmaceutical, med device, and now gene and cell therapy. This is the most interesting company in this space. Biosimilars and Agodi spent the entire day there. Okay, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. But this is where pharmaceuticals and med devices are located. All right. This is a weird thing here. Information technology companies. A lot of names that you know. I want to get to the aerospace. Most of the aerospace is in the northwest corner. Aguadilla, Pratt & Whitney, Honeywell, okay? Lufthansa, MRO. What is going on here? These are some of the announcements of projects that we've worked on. Honeywell moved their North American headquarters for aftermarket here. They already applied 1,000. Medtronic's investing another $50 million here and 700 jobs. Stryker's got a cogen plant. 2 biotech firms investing $228 million. Cyto is one of them. Autovito from India is coming here. They're taking over the Milan facility in Caguas. That's 500 jobs, 150 million in capex. So this gives you an idea of the economic activity that's happening. Last Wednesday, Amazon Web Services. We had a big splash for them. So they're coming to town. They're already here. They're already employing people. We have all of the jobs that are really high-paying tech jobs for these companies. We're posting them on our webpage. I just want to show you this next slide, and then I'll kind of wrap up. So if this would go. Okay. So this gives you an idea of the type of projects that we have. Information communications technology, TAC. Cybersecurity, mobile app development, web app development, machine learning, artificial intelligence, crypto, blockchain, all of that. Biosciences, gene, cell therapy, pharmaceuticals, med device. Energy is all things. We run the energy committee for the island for Invest Puerto Rico. We couple, every major project that comes here, we couple energy solutions with them. Cogen, wind energy, solar, ocean geothermal, all of those things, hydro. All of these things are being coupled with these major projects. So any company that comes here is in renewable or is in off-the-grid connect. Right out of the gate. Power goes out, doesn't matter. They never do. And we're going to have probably, the goal is 100% off the grid, renewable, by 2050. We could get 30, 40%. We've been speaking globally and attracting companies here that are solutions to our problems in the energy grid, in the energy space. We had an entire webinar today. Ag, food and beverage, manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. So my point is this. A third of our companies that we're working with are in the ICT space. And 27% of those ICT companies are the percentage of jobs. But the capex that comes from that sector is really small because they're not building factories or big capital infrastructure. So if you look at this, energy is less than 10% of our projects, but it's a third of the capex. We have one project alone that's $750 million. And now that we finally got wheeling rates and net metering, it's going to be implemented. It's already started. We just haven't announced it. There's some huge projects, huge activity coming here. We've got, just so you know, gene and cell therapy, we have a facility now on the island called Ocean Bio in Aguadilla. That's the brand. The building, the company that's doing it is called Biosimilars Inc. I pointed out to that. That facility is as nice and as mechanically sound and scientifically equipped as Lab Central in Boston. And why do I say that? Because Lab Central in Boston that has gene and cell therapy companies in it, they literally, the average graduate of that incubator, and it's a tech space, it's a lab, The average graduate goes public, gets acquired by Big Pharma, or raises Series B, $150 million. We have that facility on the island. I am marketing it. I am meeting with companies. Yesterday we did a webinar on why Puerto Rico is the best place in the world for non-diluted fundraising for gene and cell therapy companies. We had 180 registrants for that from all over the world. And I'm telling you right now, watch what Ocean Bio does, because pharmaceuticals, we're all going to need our acetaminophen and ibuprofen and Viagra and X-Lax and all of that kind of stuff. That isn't going to go away. But the future cures for cancer, they have the company coming here that's a cure for blindness. 90% of the people that have used the gene and cell therapy for that company in clinical trials have gone from less than 5% visibility, eyesight, to better eyes than I have with glasses, without glasses. They don't have glasses, I still need them. Gene and cell therapy is off the charts. You're going to see hundreds of companies going public. Half of them are going to fail. We hope that half that don't fail come here. We're marketing this. We're going to market it at Bio. I've got 25 people from the island that are company CEOs, deans of engineering, scientific people, all coming to my booth, and we're all going to be representing Puerto Rico together. It's 2 months away, and we already have meetings set up with gene and cell therapy companies. After yesterday's webinar, we'll have a lot more. My purpose of today's conversation is this. You're an economy right now. You're looking at investing, you're an entrepreneur, you're new, you're a long-time Puerto Rican resident, it doesn't matter. What's happening in Puerto Rico right now is phenomenal. The INE ecosystem has exploded in the last 5 years. Yesterday's, presenter that has 5 masters and a PhD and a law degree on non-dilutive funding, his name is Will Rosalie, he lives here. He said this is the next Silicon Valley for gene and cell therapy. Earlier in the day, I was at a meeting with a bunch of international blockchain people, and they said this is the Silicon Valley for blockchain. And my point is you don't say that unless there's a critical mass, and there's activity, and there's everybody, the vibe is here. And it's not just the vibe. We did a survey. We found about 120 companies on the island. They don't employ a lot. When they do, that are in blockchain. They don't really believe in blockchain right now. Crypto is a way to avoid taxes, and it's a great way to do real estate investment, which is all good for you guys. But that economy of blockchain companies tied to crypto and not tied to crypto, that is going to come next. And that's when we really get excited. So there's so many things going on here, and you're in the middle of it. You're starting all sorts of companies. And my point is that I can't think of a better time. Our debt is refinanced. All we got to do is get Prefa's debt refinanced, and we're done with bankruptcy. So our government is refinanced, Prefa's not yet. We got to get this electricity problem taken care of. I can show you statistics, and I've been down here for 2.5 years, and I hate when my power goes up because I don't have a backup generator. But statistically, when I call, someone answers the phone. Statistically, the duration of the amount of time I'm without power is less and less. And I can tell you, every year it's going to get better. And the old solution is not a solution. That alternative is come and gone. And I know I piss off a lot of mayors and other people that are Puerto Ricans that believe in PREPA, but that is not the future. And all these technologies, that are involved in renewable energy. I got one right now, a company that's $200 million that wants to do biofuels. And $200 million CapEx here and grow the crops with this very specific property. They have outtake agreements for everything. We're going to have electronic vehicles. We're working on attracting a company involved in components for EV vehicles and OEM. All sorts of things are coming. Our workforce, second to none here. No offense to MIT or Waterloo, the #1 university source for Microsoft interns. It's in Waterloo, Canada, if you didn't know that. Puerto Rico, pound for pound, it ranks 6th in the world as a percentage of our workforce that has a STEM degree. And then in known source of engineers for NASA. All of this stuff is working out to our favor. Critical supply chain for healthcare and defense industries, past and present presidents both agree on that. Not a lot that they agree on. That is one thing that they do. So all of this, I know I'm going long. I should get off the
No,
stage.
it's okay. I was gonna get your
Awesome.
video ready.
Awesome. So my point is I'm so excited about what's going on here. I think the alignment is here. Things are starting to happen. As Catherine said, things are getting expensive here. Yeah, membership at Dorado Beach went up from $60,000 to $180,000 now. That was a year and a half ago. My friend got his membership. Houses are through the roof there. Las Palmas very expensive. There's tons of opportunity though. I love this neighborhood. It's on Third Side. There's all sorts of real estate investment opportunities. So right now, I'm just excited to talk to you guys. I work a lot with Zach and Catherine on just all sorts of things, bringing investors here, showing them a good time, educating them on the economy, making sure that everybody knows that there's an opportunity out there for you. So I'll just cut it off and short at that. We're going to pull up this video that we had on billboards along the I-5. We had in the Wall Street Journal, we had in Forbes magazine, we have in select markets where a lot of Puerto Ricans are. We just created this video because we want people, when they think of Puerto Rico, to stop talking about blue tarps, paper towels being thrown, and living in the dark. I'm done with that. I really am. That was so long ago. So long ago. And what's happened here and what's happening now is just amazing. So this is the video. You tell me what you think.
We welcome the free thinkers, the innovators who sense opportunities even where others can't. Those who could live anywhere but choose to go where they could build something new. Innovative solutions, groundbreaking work, big ambitions. We welcome all of these in Puerto Rico. We have an ecosystem of partners ready to support your vision. A highly educated bilingual workforce eager to grow with you. Cutting-edge broadband and 5G infrastructure, and smart tax incentives that let you take bolder steps. World-leading companies already call Puerto Rico home. Technological innovations are driving the island's energy transformation, and great advancements in clinical research are helping people live longer, healthier lives. For those leading the way forward, our doors are open. Game changers, welcome home.
Thank you very much. We've probably got another 1,500 worth of jobs announcements to make in the next 3 months. 750 million CapEx could be possibly tied to those projects. And by the end of the calendar year, we hope to have that closer to almost 2,000 jobs and probably close to over $1 billion, 1.5, anywhere between $1 billion, $1.5 billion in new CapEx. And lots of really, I mean, when companies are coming down here like Autobindo and Honeywell and AWS, others are taking notice and finally they're picking up and answering our calls. And it's a really exciting time. So make sure that you guys are positioned to benefit simultaneously. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Wow. I get more and more optimistic the longer I'm in Puerto Rico without Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico's future. So thank you for all of that data. The next segment, I like to do a little forced networking, where I make people get out of their comfort zone and meet people that they might not necessarily, want to just go up and say hi. So I do it with name tags, where I'm going to break up into groups. In a minute, we're going to break up into groups and spend about 10 minutes getting to know each other. Before we do that, I want to ask your permission to come back to your seats when I ask you to. I know it gets fun when you start meeting people and you've got things in common and you're getting business cards or you're getting, sharing phone numbers, but when I say come back so we can get on to the rest of the meeting. So what you're going to do is you're going to break up into groups based on the color of your name tag. So I've got signs around the room. Here's purple, here's yellow, and blue is over there. So you're going to get together with people with the same color name tag in those areas. And you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to say where you're from, and if you're doing real estate, like what it is you do. You're a flipper, you're a landlord, you're a beginner. And then you're going to share what you would do if somebody handed you $50,000 today and you have 24 hours to invest it or you lose it. So that's your problem. How are you going to solve it? What are you going to do? Get creative. And we've got 10 minutes starting now. Go get into groups. We have Robert Segui here, and Robert gave a lunch and learn to us back in the fall. And I like to say that at that lunch and learn, in an hour, I learned more from Robert than I did in 60 hours and 2 different real estate exams, the first one I failed, as a realtor in Puerto Rico. So he's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm really happy to have him here. So let me tell you a little bit. He has over 16 years of experience in banking and financial industry, and while working in several banks, he developed an expertise in distressed loans. And that should definitely be something you guys want to know about. And designed exit strategies for more than $200 million in defaulted real estate secured loans. He is now the principal at Puerto Rico Estate, a licensed real estate firm, and he's dedicated to helping families find their ideal home and invest in value-add investments. So please welcome to the stage Robert Segui. Thank you for coming. Hope I said it right.
Thank you for that. I'm Robert Segui. Pleasure to be here. I'm a real estate agent, and as Catherine mentioned, I'm also the principal at Puerto Rico Real Estate. It's my pleasure to be here. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you tools and tips on how to analyze real estate opportunities. We're going to visit several databases and websites that are available. Some of them are free. Some of them are a simple paid subscription that give you, really good information about, properties and information that you need to know when you're analyzing real estate. My presentation is a little bit more interactive, so I'm going to be behind a computer. I'm going to be asking you questions, perhaps even go through some examples of properties that you would like to know. And how many people here have been in Puerto Rico for less than 1 year? From 1 to 3 years? Okay, and the rest 3 years and up. Got it. Okay, so there's plenty of information for everyone. At the beginning, it's going to be a lot for those who have been here less than 3 years, but I hope it's going to be interesting. So, anybody having a hard time finding discount deals on the island? Yeah. Anybody having a hard time finding funding for deals that you have found? So the scope of my presentation is the first, but I'm making a commitment now to share with you at least 6 Harmony lenders, some of them from the States, that actually lend in Puerto Rico in all amounts. Simple deals from $10,000 to $1 million deals. And this is a 10-year process, so treat them well. Make Puerto Rico look good on the deals that you present to them. So the market has changed in the last 2 years. I mean, in 2019, our firm had a division where we were representing investors and buyers at the courthouses. The lack of inventory in Puerto Rico has created these investors to actually go to courthouses, and given that they are end buyers, it has made the foreclosure process at a courthouse highly competitive. Still, courthouses, it's a really good, it's one good way to be able to find and identify real estate deals. Has anybody bought a property in a courthouse, in a foreclosure process?
Here or anywhere?
Here or in the States, anywhere? Okay, perfect. So The process is very similar, it's the same thing. And one of the websites that I like is Edictos y Subastas. These guys are doing a pretty good job. I mean, I used to do this manually. One of the requirements is to actually publish what's going through foreclosure, but these guys are now uploading it. The subscription is about $49 per month, and here you can obtain information of everything that's going through foreclosure. I'm going to give you a little bit of data here. You can search by municipality, by courthouse. Say that you're searching for a property in San Juan. You click search, and it'll give you, in order of auction sale date, the properties that are going for foreclosure. If you click here, you will actually be able to see the property. This one, it's a home starting at $1, but it's a private auction. Let's look for one that it's actually going for. So on Barranquita Street, we have a property that is going for foreclosure on May 2nd at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the mortgage holder is Banco Popular. This property is selling on the first auction for $108,000. And you can actually go visit the property, see it, and this is the starting point. Once you identify a property that you're interested in, the next step would be to be able to define if there's any equity. For equity, I use two specific websites. One of them gives you partial information for free. The other one is a paid subscription. One is called Tasamax. The other one is Puerto Rico. If you search for a specific area, you would be able to obtain Santa Teresita in Ocean Park. Maybe lower this. And here, with the paid version, you're going to be able to see them all and get into many other details that we have here. The subscription that I have, it's the one in Tasamax. And it gives you, reload this too. Anybody familiarized with the Santa Teresita area? No?
Say again? Say again?
Anybody familiarizing with the Santa Teresita area in Ocean Park? Yeah?
Yes.
So, there we go. So here you're going to be able to see recent sales, price of values, and all that. And with the information that you're getting from Edictos y Subastas, you're going to be able to determine if there's equity or not to keep on doing the same due diligence process. So to give you an example, this one right here, it was a price for $425, but it was sold for $395, and here you have access to the appraisal and pictures. So you're able to get all that just from Tasamax. Puerto Rico has the same ability, and I do recommend them both. It's a matter of which one you like. the best source for comparables is Caribe. In Puerto Rico, CRIM rules property taxes and the registry rules title. So you have two different agencies for two different things. Caribe is the digital version of the registry. And these guys, if you want to become an owner of a property in Puerto Rico, you gotta send it into the registrar. It's a centralized place. So all the deeds from 2017 and on, they discovered the internet on 2017. All the deeds are here. Anybody has bought anything lately? Where? Arecibo?
Well, I guess in Dorado.
The properties in Dorado?
Yeah. Calle Cinco, 28 Calle Cinco, Mamayala.
So we'll do a search for documents. And where is the
Mamayala.
yeah. Barrio or community?
Barrio.
How long ago you bought it for? How long ago you bought it?
2 months ago?
2 months ago? Caribe is only available in Spanish.
Oh,
So they,
why not Chinese?
yeah, you're right, why not Chinese? So dates are also in Spanish.
You want like the parcela number or something like that?
It'll be more impressive if I do it without the parcela number because that would be easy. But parcela number will give you an instant hit.
Yeah.
So we're looking for buy and sell deeds between January 1st, 2022 and today in Dorado, in Barrio Magallanes. Seems like you're not the rightful owner yet. Let me check. We have 8 results. Did you bought, was it 8 deeds or no?
Just one.
Just one? Do you have a finca number?
I'll pull up on print.
Did you say you have to be a member to use Caribe?
Yeah, it's free, but you have to register. So think of an email.
Huh?
Think of an email. You have to register, but it's free.
Got it.
So yeah.
Thank you for that. That's cool.
But that only tells you what the price is.
This actually gives you access to the whole deed. So you're gonna know the date, the legal description. You're gonna have access to the seller information too. The terms under which you bought it. Legal description usually have the square footage if it's an apartment, and then the lot size if it's a single family residence. What's your name, sir?
I bought it from HUD.
You work from HUD? Okay. Did you find the finca number?
Yeah, 5768.
Let's do that.
I have the deed. Actually, I don't have the deed. The attorney has it. They don't need the deed. I got my certified copy. Really? Wow. Yeah, that's it.
Here you are. Now I can.
Take that over. Before you're on fire, all that for you.
Now I can download the deed. You know. So if you're using Tasamax and you're not finding
Did I get a good
comparables,
deal on it?
I'm sorry.
Can you tell us if I got a good deal or not?
Oh, yeah, you're an expert. Makes them excited.
I gotta
Makes
get
them
smarter
excited.
right now. This, I think $25. What does the deed say?
I think 2 months ago.
That's pretty fast.
January 11.
January 11th? 3 months, 4 months, something like that.
Yeah, January 11, 2022. Hot. Is he guys single?
Deal or no deal?
I paid 72K if that's really equal.
72K. Okay, let's go to Mameyal now. So,
Is it yours?
I don't have the pro key with me, but I think it's like close to 2,000, a little less than maybe. It's like 900 for one.
What area?
It's not gated neighborhood. I don't think they'll let you into the neighborhood. What's that?
Oh, don't let me in, don't worry. 72? What,
Those
3 bedrooms, you got it?
This is Dorado.
how many square foot feet?
I think it's 1,800. Huh? Yeah.
3 bedrooms, you got it?
The internet.
How's it for that?
So maybe it wasn't Toscanos. I don't know.
They sold it with,
It may have been on that store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
most sales.
You got it from there.
Yeah, you got a good deal. You have between 20 and 40% equity.
Hey, dale.
Yeah.
Huh?
Was it?
You gonna mention that on?
So let's say that you're driving
I don't
around.
say the same thing back.
Let's say that you're driving around and you saw a property that you like.
Yay. This is all right. Great.
Sorry, 3 bedrooms, you got it?
4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, you got it?
Let's say that you're driving around, you see a property that you like, you don't know anything about it, you have a location. So,
That's at least.
CRI, through Catastro Digital, has a database on all the properties that are registered for property tax purposes. It's on the upper right corner, you'll see here. You can click anywhere and it will actually give you a grid of these different properties. In the world of data scraping, Google is probably the best. Landslide is an app. It's what Google did is they took the data from Chrome and they charge you $10 per month. It's very useful, very friendly. But I use mostly the provisions for Chrome, what Chrome provides. It's the same data. Here, you're going to be able to see. Remember that this is according to CRI. It's a separate database from the registry, so it might be wrong regarding title, although the information on the property taxes is right. So according to CRI, this property belongs to Jose Sanchez. It gives you the value that they have assigned for property tax purposes for the lot and for the structure. In Puerto Rico, any principal property has a tax exemption up to $50,000, so you'll have that there, and then how much is subject to taxes. Some properties, they also have the property registry information, which is also useful because then you can search it up in the Caribe website. This is the first tool that I use every time I'm starting to do a search or a research on any property. So the geolocator on CRI, which is also called Catastro Digital, it's highly, highly useful. Anybody has a property that they haven't been able to identify the owner that would like me to go over it now? Nobody? Take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you spell the website?
Everybody said the exact deal.
It's greenpr.net. What we could do later, I could send the whole list so that we can share that in the. How many people are in the WhatsApp group?
first one.
The first one, yeah. I think there's only one, right?
There's REIA Rico.
Right, okay. So we can share that. We can share that in the group so that everybody has access,
Yeah.
you know, to the different websites and all that. So once you're able to identify the owner,
Well, I got one. It's in Arecibo.
Okay.
The address, I got an address of a close one, but not the exact place. But look up 135 Avenue of Mexico.
That's good luck.
Avenue what?
Good luck.
I'm sorry, Avenue what?
135 Ave of Mexico.
Every house faces right to the-
ATLANTICO.
Atlantic.
Atlantico. Okay, it's not that way. It's like a neighbor. It's a neighbor's house, but it's like on that street.
Okay. So what I do is I search it up first in Google Maps, and then I do a correlation with.
Alright, yeah. And it's like a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit farther, like to the right. Yeah, zoom in there. Zoom in on, it's like on that big street. Yeah, there's something, there's one of those neighbors' houses is abandoned. It's that, yeah, it's that old, that blue pool building, for example. Might be that one, might not be, but let's say it's that one. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's that one.
once I have it pinned down in Google Maps, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, it's really cool, like, yeah, that one.
So this property belongs to Mariceli Gonzalez, and she actually bought it in 2014 for $67,000 from Banco Popular.
She bought it for 67,000, or that's the property value for tax purposes?
She bought it for $67,000.
Okay.
But this was 2014, totally different market then. And finca number, it's 11424. So what I would do next, if I was trying to, confirm that Mariceli is the owner, I would go to Caribe, do the same search. Now that we have the finca number, 11424. Let's see, I'm looking for RC. Seems like she got a mortgage in 2021. Remember what I told you that the property registered discovered the internet in 2017? So most of these documents won't be available because they were uploaded or not uploaded, but given to the registry in 2013. When you click here, you won't be able to find it. But this one that was uploaded after 2017, you'll have access to it. And she obtained a mortgage, seems like in second rank. And you can, read everything about it, the amount and all that. But yeah, she bought it from Banco Popular in 2014 for $67,000. We even have
The mortgage, how much was the mortgage for?
So it's here to look that information for you.
But you said that was, when's that mortgage presented?
This seems like a second mortgage because it's subordinated, and it was for $95,136. She's getting money out of the property, yeah.
So she bought it in 14, about 67, she's probably got
I know it was a refinance.
55,000 left on the first mortgage, and another 90.
No.
So it appraised for probably 160, 170.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's a
It's got a
refinance.
mortgage, it should be in Tasmax.
No, it was a refinance. Because the prior document presented to the registry was the cancellation of the original mortgage.
Okay, so it should be in Tasmax.
The refinance?
If it's mortgage, it should be in Tasmax.
So let's search it in Tasmax too.
Maybe the first one was canceled, then it's 97.
You want to see it in Tasmax, Chris?
I would like to see if it comes up.
What's the name of the area, sir?
Arecibo.
I know.
But,
The
specific-
ward or the sector.
I have no idea what that area is called.
I don't know.
Radioville? Radioville? No?
That's radio, yeah, it's radio.
I think he's right, it's radio.
The Zurich Pro Plaza North there. Yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah, radio bill.
It's further than that.
Is that the front of the house?
That's kind of, that's another one on the street, not the one I have in mind, but yeah, that's it.
There's that in the block.
This one's yours?
No, I don't know any of them, but it's close enough. It's on the street. I'm just, as an example of property.
How much they want for that house?
I think it's for sale, but.
I mean, how much did it sell for?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that one sold for 165 on November 2020. It was a price at 175. So this will serve the purpose to give you a relationship of equity, to realize if it makes sense to move forward with the due diligence or not. What happens if you're able to have the name of the entity or the person that owns a property, but you're unable to identify for that, what I recommend, it's two things. Nothing beats, knocking on the neighbors' doors, because they know the whole story. And in some of these neighborhoods, you just gotta ask one question and they will answer 1,000. So that's useful. But if you want to do it from behind a computer, I recently subscribed to this service with excellent results. It's called IDI Core. here you can search for people and entities. So let's say that you're searching for somebody. You want to know their phone number. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but it's worth a try. No records found. Anybody has a name of a person that they would actually want to find? No names? So I have been able to find, people that are part of an estate, owners that don't want to be found or are in the States and not paying attention to the properties in Puerto Rico. I have a name?
Yeah.
So spell it for me first, please.
Give me 1 second. I'll pull it right out of the ring.
Is there any way you can, are all these links that you've just showed us available on your website or something? Or
So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to send two sort of to those that are in the WhatsApp chat. There you're going to find Prem, Caribe, Dasamax, these guys at IDI Core for the search portion. And then we're going to send a second link for the hard money lenders that actually lend in Puerto Rico. And that, yeah.
Yeah, so if you register tonight and you're not in the WhatsApp group yet, we will be adding you tomorrow to the WhatsApp group. Perfect. You can leave if you want.
Got it?
Yeah.
You can add
Jose Rafael Zaragoza Casanova.
Zaragoza, is that with Z or S?
Yeah, Z. Zaragoza with 2 Z's. Z on both sides.
I'm assuming he's in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's dead.
He is?
Yeah. He left us.
Is the property in Arecibo or not?
Yes.
It is? So it took several tries.
I didn't get in touch with kids.
This kid is 85?
No. I think this guy passed, from what I understand. I'm trying to get in touch with like the oldest kids. So if you look at it, has like the likely relationships, the oldest of those, the boy names.
So here you have two phone numbers, which you can try. They were last seen on 2015, but perhaps more importantly, you have a list of people related to him.
Yeah. So they're all just first names, not last names.
If you click here, they'll give you more information. Let me zoom this in for the benefit of everybody. Okay, just for you. I get it.
You're having the phone number.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You have the phone numbers.
Oh, I got it.
We're all calling that number.
All right, here's the deal. First line to get this.
Yeah, but it's a big squad. You don't got the money for the construction. No.
Do you know any names that are related to him? I mean,
Or the cruise. More importantly.
because if we click here, it'll give us the same information about these people. So So you can call them, hey, do you know Jose Rafael Zaragoza?
Yeah.
So let's say that Lydia.
What does the R or the A mean?
I'll find out because I don't know. I think it's related and associated. Lydia Trio Cortez is 98. Wow. So once I found a dead end, what I do on this part is art. I mean, what I was explaining so far, it's a lot of science, it's all done behind a computer, but now that you have those two names, perhaps doing a search on Google, doing a search on any of these websites that help you identify people will give you additional information, like, you know, the name of the son, or the name of the daughter, or the person who's controlling the estate. And once you have that, you can do the same search.
It's like search for databases for estate information.
So, regarding the equivalent of the IRS in the States is Hacienda here. Hacienda, it's not public documents. And estates are controlled through Hacienda. So, you won't have access to the information about an estate unless they have filed something related to a property through Caribe.
There's no way to do like a case search and pull the truth out.
A case search?
Yeah, like you know how like
Legal.
If that site wasn't there for the foreclosure, you go look at like
Yeah.
the foreclosure complaint.
And for that, you have two different websites. So, the lawyers discovered the internet in 2016. They are 1 year ahead. And anything prior to 2016, you'll go to poderjudicial.pr. And here, you can search for, you know, civil, any civil case. And more, you know, foreclosures are civil cases. And it'll give you the information. But for the electronic version, it's also free. It's from 2016 and on. But if you want to have access to this, you'll actually have to go to the courthouse and they will sit you on a computer and then you'll be able to see the digital file. Prior to 2016, it's all hard copies, and you have to go to the actual courthouse where the file was filed to be able to see it and read it. But let's say that you're looking for, you know, foreclosures or people that you can approach. I did this once in 2019. Let me see if I can get connected.
You use Tasmax. Do you like that better than Luis Abreu?
Which one? Which
Luis
one?
Abreu.
I was subscribed to both Tasamax and Luis Abreu. I let Luis Abreu membership expire. I think they're very similar. So, you know, it's a matter of what you like the most. As long as you have the information available and to be able to do the due diligence, you know, nobody cares if you are using Luis Abreu, Tasamax, Puerto Rico, Clasificados Online, which is the official listing for Puerto Rico.
It's the MLS.
How do you find cash deals then?
Cash deal, I find them at Caribe. You know, if you want to become an owner of a property in Puerto Rico, you have to register the deed. So you always find, you know, the most comparables or recent sales in Caribe. Everybody who wants to become an owner has to file the deed with the registry. So you'll find everything: cash, non-cash finance, crypto, whatever. If the transaction closed and you want that on your name, it has to go to Caribe. That's how I find, any sale. It doesn't matter if it's on Tasamax, Luis Abreu, or Puerto Rico A. And since Caribe is so specific, you can search by neighborhood, like we did on the example of Mameyal. In the example of in Dorado, you're going to be able to find it there. It doesn't matter if it was closed in 2017 or 2022, you're going to see it. So for some reason, it doesn't allow me to log into SUMAC, which is the digital version of claims filed by lawyers. But here, one of the things that I did in SUMAC, so Scotiabank back in those days was here in Puerto Rico, and they were on their way out. They grew out of the acquisition of a really big mortgage bank in Puerto Rico, which was called RG Premier. And they were exiting that portfolio of residential mortgages and trying to find a buyer for it. So what I did is I searched for every claim that Scotiabank was presented before any courthouse, and then click on them one by one. I knew that they were doing really, really great deals. Current market conditions have changed a lot since then, but I was able to pinpoint all the foreclosures that they were actually, executing on. And then I wrote down the name of the owners, and I knock on those doors. Hey, I know you're being foreclosed. It's not friendly, and people feel intimidated with the process because, how the hell does this guy know more about my process than I do? But it's very, very useful because it allows you to contact motivated sellers wanting to resolve a problem, not necessarily needing cash. They just want to get rid of the problem, and you're presenting them with an opportunity. And that was useful. I did all that through SUMAC. SUMAC is free. It's where you're gonna get access for any legal process in Puerto Rico, but you will actually have to go to a courthouse to be able to log in. It's not a membership subscription or something that you can register like Caribe. It's highly, highly useful, and I do like it a lot. If you have questions, we're more than yes.
On the cash deals, how do you find bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage of houses? I know the square footage is in condos, but the square footage of a house, bedroom, bathrooms.
That's a great question. I mentioned previously that when the legal description of a property, if it's a single-family residence, it will only give you the lot size, and it will give you the lot size in meters. And if it's an apartment, it will actually give you square footage. But you don't get necessarily, especially for houses, you don't get necessarily the distribution. So you don't know how many bedrooms it has, you don't know how many bathrooms it has. That part, it's the art. It's visiting the property, trying to get in the neighborhood, trying to get into the house, if it's abandoned or whatever. So it's a mix of science and art. It's not an exact science, but that's really a great question, because if you're using this to, I know many appraisers that use Caribe to get their info on comparables, but they're using that information to prepare a formal document. If you're using it for those purposes, then it's not that useful. If you're using it to see if there's value, to see if there's equity, then it's highly useful. So that's a great question, Chris. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get there, boots on the ground, visit the properties to be able to find out, how many bedrooms, how many bath, conditions, and all that.
Second question.
Yeah.
Your number one bluff for security. How do you get past security?
So, for me, what works, I'm a licensed real estate agent as you are. and I'm highly transparent about it. Yeah, I'm a licensed real estate agent, I'm looking for a property here, will it be passed? You know, most of the time they say yes, sometimes they say no. Puerto Rico is a small island, perhaps somebody who lives in the neighborhood, or unregistered as real estate agent in Banco Popular, perhaps Banco Popular has a foreclosed home within that community, and then I tell them that I'm going to visit another property, something around those lines. It's art. It's not necessarily Uber. Yeah, that's good too. I never tried it, but yeah, it could work. Any other questions that I could help you with?
Twofold question. Number one, I went to a court auction, and I didn't know I had to do a cash check, which is probably a stupid mistake on my part, but okay, I didn't get the property. The lien holder bought it back. It was the second auction. They didn't want to go to the third, so they bought it back. Trying to work with the lien holder to put an offer, a cash offer to them, but the property is now in eviction, so it can't be sold, and it can't be changed until like a court martial looks at the house. I have a friend that's experienced. She's been working with like the attorney, but that is like what I'm coming to understand. Do you know anything about that process? Like it was the lien holder that bought it back for themselves, so it's not really transfer ownership. But now there's an eviction that's introduced, and I just don't understand why there would be an eviction in that case. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I know the whole process. So there's several parts. But before we get into that, let me just make a slight correction. There was a transfer of ownership because the mortgage holder wasn't the owner prior to foreclosing.
Oh, I see.
So they have to put it in their name. So once they're able to do that on a separate process, it's actually kicking out the people who are there. So is it a hedge fund or a traditional financial institution?
It's like a private lender.
Is it a private lender?
Yeah.
And they're insisting on doing the eviction? Because what I've done in the past, and this has worked with hedge funds and out of the box investors, but it's never worked with traditional banking like Banco Popular, First Bank, Oriental. They said, don't worry, I'll sign you a whole hand clause that I'll take care of the eviction, I'll assume the property with a squatter or the whoever is there or the tenant, and I'll assume that risk. And they'll actually sell it to you and include language in the deed that says that you're assuming the risk of eviction and all that, and you're holding them harmless of that risk. But, I fought with Oriental for 2 years, trying that, and they said, we're not going to sell it to you unless it's vacant. So it's a separate process. It'll take about 3 weeks. It's not a slow process, unless they're minors. If you have minors,
There's no one in the house. It is totally vacant. I've been there many times.
it's totally vacant. Then it's going to be easy.
But the thing that they said is that no one can make any changes to the property until like a court martial comes and certifies that the property is vacant.
Yeah, I'll give you the technical version of it because it'll be useful as knowledge. Then I'll give you the practical what really goes on. If the owner or the person who got foreclosed says, say that you got in there prior to signing the eviction document, and they know that you were there prior to the signature of that, and they have the evidence. No, I had a gold bar in there. It was right there in the kitchen, and now it's not. So now the guy who was foreclosed has a potential claim against the bank. If it's abandoned and all that, usually nothing happens. And I've done it both ways for prior to eviction and after eviction, depending on the risk. It's a matter of your appetite for risk.
Got it. Okay, and then that's very helpful. So can I word it in a way
where I don't need to involve the court marshal to inspect it to see that it's vacant. Because like, I feel like that is the process that they're now undergoing, which is like, you know, working with the court or whatever to inspect the house and certify that it's vacant. If I say, I'll assume the vacancy, then do I need to have a court, someone from Puerto Rico government come and say this house is vacant, or can I then start working on the property?
That's what he said. You have to sign a hold harmless against.
Make the offer with the whole harmless clause.
That's a great idea.
But also, there's private guys that used to be marshals that now work privately. We're going to cost you $400 and they could make this happen in an instant. Where's the property located? I see where. Even faster. And what I mean by even faster is if you compare to San Juan, we have 3,000 foreclosures going on versus ICU, we have 100 or 300. The eviction process can move fairly quickly. And I'll happy to refer you to a guy that does this for a living.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, and this guy was a supplier of banks, which they vet people continuously. So, he's a good guy.
That brings up an interesting question. So you're saying that evictions take longer in San Juan, say than somewhere else. How long
Yeah.
does an eviction take? You mentioned minors. So
It should take about 3 weeks. Last property I bought for an investor through a foreclosure process was in November. And holidays came, eviction occurred 3rd week of January. But it also took a little bit longer because now the judge has to sign the initial sales deed. And usually, you know, they go on holidays in December and all that. So that one took long, but you know, usually 3 weeks should be more than enough. Okay, so
repeat the question.
yeah, the question was, in the case of an abandoned property, could you evict somebody through the evidence? But do you currently own the property?
No.
So, when there's an abandoned property which you don't actually own, you will have to go through the whole process of discovery of who the owner is. So if you can't find the owner, that's trickier. I mean, if you're unable to find the owner and nobody's able to sell you a property and you're not able to become the rightful owner, there's several ways where, you know, change of ownership can occur. One of them is through property taxes. And by the way, CRIM will soon start selling tax liens.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Let's assume that property has been with the tree for years. Nobody will take care of it. It's abandoned.
Yep. So,
And you go through the property.
so currently, the CRIM doesn't sell tax liens, but that will happen at some point during 2022 or 2023 as a mandate of the Oversight Board. A second process is that
You just dropped it. Yeah. Like, that's a pretty big thing to say. Wow.
it is. I mean,
That's
Is that because of COVID they weren't selling them, or was that just nobody sold tax?
Never happened.
Never.
well,
Never sold tax deeds. And that's why they have the amnesty earlier
Yeah.
this year, right?
Yep.
Oh.
I can give you the whole history because they did actually sell about $1.2 billion in tax liens in 1997. But they had to revert that back. It was such a mess. You can imagine. Yeah. So, and I can give you the full story, but it's outside of the scope of this. So that's one way to gain ownership. A second is to engage the municipality and push them to declare the property a public nuisance and pass it through the process of public nuisance. So the municipality will gain ownership and then they will sell it to you or to the highest bidder. There's a third process, but CRIM has or had $2 billion worth of past due tax debts. Many people know this as a fact because they put out an RFP in 2016 and they were saying we're going to sell these $2 billion. In the States, if you owe taxes more than a year, you get foreclosed on. So there's a special process for the CRIM to foreclose on property, which is faster. They have only done it once in 40 years. So, when Zachary began, there's a lack of transparency in Puerto Rico among, several things related to real estate. There's a lot of opportunities for improvement here, especially around these areas. This is one of them. Hopefully, at some point within the fourth quarter of 2022, CRIM will start selling tax liens and things will be more efficient. We're going to see less abandoned buildings and more places for all the employees that Michael is bringing to the island. Yeah.
How confident are you that that's actually going to happen?
What was the last question?
Yeah, so the question is, how confident am I that the CRIM is going to start selling tax liens in the fourth quarter of 2022? So, not confident at all because I've seen it. I've seen it in the past. On the 2016 request for proposal, I got as an accepted bidder for the process. And when they decide to shut down the process, for me it was heartbreaking. I was eager for them to resolve something that's a big issue. And it's a big issue in many areas. We shouldn't have potholes. If you collect the money that people owe you and you were efficient doing that, you would be able to fix the roads, have better education system and all that. So it affects us all. But they're so inefficient that, but then again, the amnesty that they did was highly aggressive. They were offering during the first portion of it 45% discount of the 55% discount of the amount owed. And then on the second phase, 45, and then on the third phase, which ends Monday, 25% discount. And they said, when they initially throw this and took it publicly, the marketing was, take advantage of this because it will never come again. And if you owe taxes, we're going to sell them to the hedge funds. In Spanish, hedge fund is wrongly translated to vulture funds. So you can imagine that word in the local mindset. So these vultures are going to come and they're going to take our houses if we don't pay the property taxes. So it was very important in that sense because you either pay your taxes now or deal with somebody who's going to actually foreclose on you. So, in addition to that, the oversight is on top of this. Either you become sustainable as a municipality or you're out because you're not going to be participating anymore out of the general budget.
I had a question regarding the foreclosure process. We were talking earlier about when the property sold the back to the lender. Does the auction sale have to be ratified by the court? And what's the process from actually winning a bid to getting into title?
So once you win the bid, before you walk out, you gotta pay. And you gotta pay a cashier's check.
All the money?
All the money.
You know, we can take out
Okay.
bring that check.
I was gonna say,
All the funds, yeah.
Wow.
It's a cash transaction. Cashier checks in favor of the marshal. The check is in favor of the marshal.
Of the court? Like Marshall, like in court?
Marshal as in the court. So the check will read, alguacil del tribunal, which is the marshal of the court. And what people do is they take many checks. So let's say that let's say that the bed opens in $1, but the total amount owed is $50,000. But the property is worth $250,000. They said, okay, I'm willing to pay all the way up to $185. You should have enough checks for $185.
So from the day of the sale till when you come into title, the
3
judge
weeks.
signs it. 3 weeks.
Same space, yeah. If you have a decent lawyer.
And do you think it's subject to any municipal liens?
So the only thing that the foreclosure process will not clean is property taxes and HOA fees.
Okay.
Anything else, if it's a first rank mortgage note, will get cleaned up.
Do HOA fees supersede the mortgage?
Correct. In Puerto Rico, they do.
Okay. How do you look by HOA?
Hard.
Yeah.
By HOA or?
Yeah, like how do you find out like?
I mean, that's art. It's pure art. It's,
Yeah.
you know, talking to the administrator, making him or her fall in love with you, and bringing the cupcakes, you know, and it's hard because if it's a condo, you gotta get past the guard.
Yeah.
So it's pure art.
Yeah.
And then they will tell you, no, I cannot give you that information. That's private information of the owner. That's protected by, you know, from IPA to whoever else. So, yeah, it's pure art.
Whoever's to pay the debt for the homeowner, the homeowner is not has to pay, so you can have a market out negotiation.
I didn't understand. So, in Puerto Rico, you would actually have to pay 100% of what's owed to the HOA. You could always negotiate and present them an offer. And I have had multiple experiences with that. But some administration, they love me Palmas del Mar. You know, I used to have, my largest client was a hedge fund in Jersey. And they didn't negotiate anything. They didn't negotiate not 1 cent. So one day I show up with $132,000 in a 35 check from the HOA. So I'm just a messenger. But since I'm the face, who the hell is this guy? He's bringing us money. So we got to treat. And I received a royal treatment just because I was bringing the check. I wasn't, you know, the guy with the money, but. So some of the HOAs could be really hard and enforce what we're owed. Others, you know, I have seen settlements at 10 cents on the dollar. You know, I'm the new owner. You know, I don't wanna. I want to make good, and I want to keep on paying. But could you give me a discount? And they present an aggressive offer, and it gets accepted by the board.
And for like a HOA lien to get like sold, does that have to go to the tribunal and get a full foreclosure complaint filed?
So, in my experience, HOA will only foreclose if there's a mortgage.
If there's no mortgage.
Correct.
But that mortgage is subordinate to the HOA liens when it comes to foreclosure, correct?
No. This is the thing.
I know of a couple of municipalities and jurisdictions in the states that condo liens supersede the mortgage, even if there's a mortgage, and they get notified that their legal department doesn't take care of it, or doesn't pay it off, and bill it back on the mortgage, and it's like escrow expenses.
This is the thing, and it's
So you can wipe out the first position.
it's interesting what you're mentioning, and let me give you several examples. The HOA has some powers that the bank doesn't have. The law allows the HOA to cut power and water from your property if you haven't paid more than 90 days.
Wow.
So the bank always,
Even if there's a tenant in the building, in the unit, even if it's a tenant.
especially if there's somebody there. Yeah. So the bank is not. The law doesn't allow the bank to do that. So people tend to not pay their mortgages, but pay the HOA because of this. But if they have no mortgage and they're broke, then they don't pay the HOA either. that's when you see most cases of HOA foreclosing on the owner. I actually never seen the HOA foreclosing on a property that has a first mortgage all the way around. So,
Go back to the foreclosure process. You said the court ratifies, do they have to ratify the sale?
the judge does. You
Okay.
just have to sign the initial sales deed.
Okay,
Yeah, and that's why it takes 3 weeks.
okay.
Yeah.
And then when you take, you can take possession of the property beforehand, all right?
Only after eviction.
Even if it's vacant?
If it's vacant, you can play with it,
You can
but the official process is only after eviction.
Wait, let me ask you that. Can you get financing on the property if you take it with the clause of I'll handle the eviction or some fancy word for it, whatever it was? But let's say I take the deed, it's written in there that I'm assuming the eviction process, and then I want to refinance it in like 5-6 months. Am I able to do that?
If it's already under your name, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually it's seasonal.
Yeah, like that's
yeah. If it's already under your name, yes. There's a few things around financing after foreclosing, but it's related to federal guarantees and federal products, not necessarily hard money lenders or any other lending outside of a federal guarantee. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we could just like sit down with Robert for like 3 hours in a conference room, just grill him. I mean, he knows so much.
30 hours.
It's a wealth of information. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. We'll get it on the next app. Zachary, you want to talk about needs and wants?
Yeah, guys, needs and wants. So if anyone has anything that they're wanting to push a deal or wanting to show, show us a deal, show us anything like that, I have definitely a need and a want for contractors. Anyone have any contractors or any contacts, any housekeepers, people that are willing to do that? Also, we're looking for a personal assistant. So part-time, $15 an hour to start. Anyone looking to get in the real estate business, hit me up. Does anyone else have anything that they want to share? Any wants, needs? Go ahead, Mike. Here.
First thing, add me to that WhatsApp group. I'm looking for lenders, so hard money lenders, private lenders. I'm looking for contractors and contacts of that nature in Dorado, San Juan area. And just also to network with other brokers who are able to source deals here in the San Juan and Dorado areas. Anybody a lender in here? I figured with the jacket it was coming
Okay, who else? Who else wants to come up on stage? Got a deal? Looking for something?
Bill?
Okay, Bill. Let's welcome Bill Halleck, Aceland Mortgage, to the stage.
I have an office down the road here, and it's a small office. We're going to have at least 2, maybe 3 office spaces available, like a co-working style space. So I know base may already be full. So if you guys are looking and you haven't been able to find a space, I'm going to have at least 2, maybe 3 offices. Each one is about, I'd say, 10 by 10 or 10 by 12, something like that. And then the one on the back is a little bit bigger than that. Obviously, real estate people, CPAs, attorneys, professionals, but that's kind of the tenant I would like to have. You'd have 24-hour access. The front 2 offices are probably about 500 apiece, includes everything. And then the one in the back's a little bigger, is probably maybe 750, something like that. So that's a little need I have. And a little plug for myself. I'm a mortgage guy here. And we have our headquarters here. We do New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida. Texas, California, and of course Puerto Rico. That's for right now residential, FHA, VA, and conventional lending. We're working on the hard money. We do have one place for hard money now, one outlet. They are looking for bigger stuff, 750, 800, up to 12 million. I'm looking to get the sub
Quite a fix and
500 for my own personal investing here, as well as I know there's a big need for that, so I'm working on that. So those are my couple of needs and wants. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you, Bill. Come on up.
Thanks.
Sure.
Hey guys, I'm Rob. I'm looking for a local Puerto Rican native, preferably someone who's licensed as an agent that I can hire part-time or full-time, $20 to $25 an hour to partner and help me source deals. Myself and a bunch of friends are looking for a primary residence and we have to buy something and we just can't find anything on the market. So anyway, so find me if you know someone who's willing to help out. Thanks.
Awesome. Hello, come on.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm visiting from Los Angeles and I kind of fell in love with Puerto Rico. So what I need is, I really want to move here ASAP. So I'm looking for a place to buy. So any good deals out there,
What's your budget?
let me know.
Price range?
Budget? I would say 3.
Okay, 300,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're pre-qualified or cash?
We go through, it's for my sister. We're going through an institution.
Okay. Okay, and you want to be in?
This area is great. I'm not too far from San Juan, but I think this area is great.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. All right, anyone else? All right, so before we go, I actually was wanting to share this video. It looks like we're going to watch a little commercial first before the video starts. This is a video that was done to promote the bus tour last time, so it's not the same things that we're going to see, but just to give you an idea, it's like a 2-minute video.
Welcome to Puerto Rico and to our second real estate bus tour on the island, brought to you by REIA Rico. That's right, don't miss out on our 2-day bus tour where you can network with those who are already making deals and with those coming from the states with capital ready to invest. Both days we will start and end in San Juan. Day 1 will be entirely San Juan, then we'll move over to Canóvanas, then Luquillo, next Ceiba, then Aguabo, and finally Caguas. And if you're really interested in learning more about Opportunity Zone strategies, real estate, and tax incentives that Puerto Rico has to offer, then this is a must-go on your to-do list. In case you already didn't know, 98% of Puerto Rico is an Opportunity Zone, including oceanfront and beachfront properties. So we want to leave you with a baseline when it comes to investing on the island. And if you've been thinking about joining real estate, maybe it's time to stop thinking about it. There are so many ways you can get involved and benefit in the industry right here, right now. And please join us at our nonprofit lunch with important governors at our Wednesday Investor Summit, sponsored by LZ Works and Invest Puerto Rico will feature industry experts. And please note that accommodations such as hotel, lunch, and airfare will not be included. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
So this is on July 26th. It's a Tuesday, and it's the same week as our meeting is, which is always on the 4th Thursday of the month. So if you're interested in going on the bus tour, just mark it on your calendar. That's coming up. It's a little tentative about which properties we're going to see, but we're going to go to the west side of the island. So
It's an all day.
it's an all-day thing. Starts in the morning, you'll come back at night. Dinner time-ish, maybe a late dinner, but yeah, we're planning to do just one day. So anyway, put that on your calendar. It's on Eventbrite. We'll add it to the REIA Rico website. And if you want to become an annual supporter, you can do that by going to REIARico.com. So